Yo, 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 what's up, Kwanza Global family? This is episode 29. We are back again with another episode on this beautiful Friday. Hey, we back. Uh, just want to start off by saying appreciate y'all again for tuning in each and every week. I appreciate all the listeners, all the supporters, all the Kwanza Global family. Much love to y'all, man. And yeah, we back with another episode. So this is episode 29. And we're going to be talking about peace. We're going to be talking about peace. 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 So, yeah, we're going to be talking about peace and, how important it is to have that when you go through life. Going through life and you don't have peace, it's, it's a rough ride. And when I talk about, peace, we're talking about I'm not saying your life. I'm not. There's gonna be people. They'll say it's like, man, like how can I have peace with all this going? It's like I'm not talking about the absence of problems and troubles and issues and fights and arguments and drama and gossip and you know malice and all of these things going around, cruelty and backbiting and uh, you know all of a bunch of stuff that we could name where things just aren't going right. Things aren't going your way or anyone's way or anything. Everything is just going wrong. Everything seems to be, your world seems to be turned upside down. Like you like one day is okay or a day or two, and then you just go through a week or weeks of storms, and your ship seems like it's sinking, and you know and you realize you got a hole in the ship, and things just, you know what I mean, or the sail is ripped, and everything is just going off the rails, and you can't seem to get things in order, and you're trying your best, and you're doing things with a good heart, and you're trying your best, and when you slip and fall you get back up, but things just seem to just be set on bringing you down, and that's life for a lot of us, if not the majority of us, at some point in our lives, and for some people more than others. And it's like, when does it end? And it's like, that's when, where we really talk about peace. Because it's like, do you even, and then you could flip it on the other side. When we're talking about peace, I want, to really have us understand that when we're talking about peace, all right, I already talked about, all the bad things, that, we could be going through. And, we all have our individual circumstances regarding, things that we go through that are, are unfortunate, that are, that are bad and are hurting us, right? And then you flip it onto the other side, which makes peace so important, is even when things are good, right? Things could be going well. You could have all the money in the world. You're really making money. You're wealthy. You're very well to do. Your kids are healthy. You everything's in order. Bills are paid. House is paid off. You don't owe anybody, or you don't. I mean, everything's, your family is all together. There's your marriage is doing well. All these things where it's like, you have all the latest phones. I mean, you got a great car. What else? You got food on the table. I mean, you got people that love you. You know what I mean? You so many things. You go. Uh, hey, you, you're you're eating well, you're eating healthy, your health is well. I mean, all these things that, I mean, things are going good. I mean, as far as the eye can see, right? As far as it, but there's something else, that maybe is troubling you. I don't know what that may be, for some people, but whoever may fit that description in some way, or to some extent, where you're doing well, like there's really, as far as the world is concerned, there really isn't much to complain about, right? Well, there's people who, kind of have that, scenario, at least as far as the eye can see, where things are going well, with the kids and the family structure and the material things, and the even and as well as the necessities, with the house, food, water, and then just, and then just the stuff that you can just afford to have, and be blessed with, the very nice cars, the very nice house, and things like that, but why again is peace so important? Because you could have all of that on one hand, all the money, all the quote unquote success, right? Great career or job that you have, everything's moving, and yet your spirit is still troubled. You're still not at rest. You still, can't sleep through the night. You're still tossing and turning. You still can't figure out the answer. And well, what answer are you looking for? You can't figure it out. You don't seem fulfilled. You don't seem like everything's together. There's something that you're still yearning for. What is it? What could it be? And it's like you're just trying to claw your way, with everything around you that's going well. It's like, what is the problem? And because you're trying to use, the good, everything that's happening for you, everything that's been established for you, that is all good and well, yet you're still feeling troubled. Why? What is the answer to that? You don't know the answer to that. You can't figure it out. Either you can't figure it out, or maybe you do know why, and it's just bugging you that you can't get over this particular thing that's just troubling you, and it just seems to keep you in some bondage, and it's keep holding you and holding you back, and you're doing your best to save face or to get up each and every day, and you're doing your thing, you really holding it down, but it's still there, peace, whether you could, like, let's talk about a scale, where have the two weight scales, and if you put something heavier on one side, well, it's gonna pull that down, the weight scale down towards the heavier side, and whatever you put on the lighter side is gonna go up, right? So with peace, right? Think of that. So I could put a heavy object. I could put a 100-pound weight on the scale, right, on the left side of the scale, and I could put a 50-pound weight on the right side of the scale. So, practically speaking, logically speaking, right, the 100-pound weight weighs more than the 50-pound weight, because 100 is more than 50, period, right? So, that weight on the left side that holds the 100-pound weight that you put on, that's on the left side of the scale, is gonna tilt downwards, right? And then the 50-pound weight will tilt upwards because it's lighter. So the 100-pound weight will pull that side of the scale down. So you know how that works, right? Now, now think of it like this: if you take peace, if peace was a tangible thing, where you could like hold it like you could like a dumbbell or a weight, right? If you could hold it, physically hold it, and you could put peace on the right side, right? On the right side of that scale that's holding the 50 pound uh you know 50 pound weight. That has the 50 pound weight on it. And you know what I mean? And then you also you also put um peace again on the other side of the scale, on the 100 pound weight. No matter what, the scale's gonna balance out, right? The scale will balance out. That's how peace works. The scale will balance out. In other words, you won't be, whether good or bad, peace does isn't will it's not, does not fluctuate, or isn't true peace, authentic peace will not be moved or cannot be fluctuated or teetered, by anything. So yes, there's all right. 100 pound weight is already heavier than the 50 pound weight. If I put peace on top, like there, if it was a tangible, if I put peace over on the left side with the 100 pound weight, it's not gonna get heavier. If I put peace where things are going good and well, it's not gonna get heavier. It's gonna balance out. It just balance out. Period. It's gonna equal out. So in other words, it's as if those weights, it's not that they're not there, but you don't feel it. You don't it's not that they're not there. It's not that they don't exist. It's not that it's not happening. It's not like it's not reality. It's not like it's not real. But but one isn't weighing you down more than the other. One isn't just hanging in the balance. One isn't, where you're just going through the motion. It's not so heavy because, all right, I got the house, I got the kids and everything, so I'm really just going through the motions. I'm all right. You know what I mean? It could be worse, right? But because it could be worse doesn't take away the fact that you're still going through what you're going through. You're still troubled in your spirit. So, all right, maybe in some way, some form, it lessens the blow than if you were had to focus on paying the bills all the time, right? You know what I mean? If you had to focus on so many other things, maybe it distracts you from what is really, really, really troubling you in your heart, right? But now, since you got all that other extracurricular stuff taken care of, all that other responsibilities taken care of, now you have no choice but to deal with what's troubling you, right? So then, on the good side of it, all right, maybe it's a 50 pound weight because, all right, you got all the responsibilities taken care of, all the other things taken care of in your life is going well. But you yourself are still going through, you're still being troubled. So yeah, it's a 50 pound weight because maybe that 100 pound weight is if you were, you really had no money and you were really, still grinding, still trying to, you know, make a way for yourself, provide for your family, and get yourself set financially and all these things that you have to, worry about. But now that becomes all right. Maybe that weight gets cut in half, like on the right side of the scale, and it becomes that 50 weight. But it's still weight, right? You add peace on one end, add peace on the other end, it balances out, right? So if I just added peace on that 50, I'll add it on both. Because if I add peace where that 50 pound weight is, all right, uh, I just want you to guys to understand where it's like if I have peace with that 50, it doesn't get heavier, right? If it was a tangible thing, that piece if it was a tangible thing I could hold, that piece does not get heavier if I put it where the 50 pound weight is. And same thing vice versa. If I put it on the left side where that 100 pound weight, it doesn't get heavier. Neither get heavier. So the 50 pound side does not get weight, does not equal out to the 100 pound weight. No, that's not, because we're talking about peace here. So that 50 pound weight does not get heavier. So it doesn't add 50 pounds to equal out to that 100 pound weight. Nah. Because that 100 pound weight, I also add peace on there. It equals out. It balances out. In other words, it's almost as if, you know what I mean, one is, if one were to really take a look into what someone has gone through or is going through, and they look at their life and what they've gone through, what they've been through, the traumas, the pain, the hurt, and all of this, and to see how they live their life, to see how they move in their action and their speech and everything of the sort, how they still give and how they move, right? And you just see it, and you could see it, in their countenance, like there's peace. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what that does. So it's not that it's not a reality for that person and they haven't gone through or aren't going through or in the midst of it, but peace, it's peace to have you understand. It's such an assurance, it's such a trust, it's such a a a faith, a childlike faith, where you just understand that this is where I'm safe. I'm safe because God got me, right? God got me covered. You know what I mean? To have that type of peace, to have that type of calmness, that calm, that tranquility, that ease, that peace, that can't be bought by anyone or anything. That can't be that can't be earned, right? You can't earn that through hard work, sweat, blood, and tears. Nah, no, no. That peace has already been earned for you, you know, and God took care of that. You know what I mean? A long time ago, and He took care of that. So you don't have. There's nothing for you to try to earn. You can't earn it. There's no way. That peace, you have to give it up. You understand? You have to give up your sense of control, your sense of control, that you have everything under control, or that everything that you're going through, that you're trying to overcome, those traumas, those pains, that hurt that you're going through right now, that that's not going to just disappear and dissipate overnight or in a day. All those things that have been working up inside you, all that's been troubling you, whether during that stage in your life where you were down and out and things were going bad, or that time where now you're out of that situation and things are going well for you, but there's still something deeper, you know, and all the things of this world can't cover that up. You know what I mean? Can't change that. There's a peace that exists if you just let go and let God work, and you just let Him be Him. Let Him be the Father that He is. Let Him be who you need Him to be in your life. Like, really just let go. Because you cannot attain that peace in your own human strength, in our own limited human strength, in our own capacity. We just cannot. I mean, you could talk about all the strongest people you know what I mean? All the strongest people, like, you cannot have that when you're really going through, when there's times where you just can't, that you can't get, it seems like you're there, but you know what I mean? You can't get over that hump. You can't seem to really see, that part of the picture that's still so blurry. There's just something that is just always in the back of your mind, always just there, troubling, and it won't let you rest. And it's just the the fact that you can't even rest with it. I mean, if it was in your control, wouldn't you? So it shows that there's things that must be beyond your control. Because with all, all the therapy, with all the counsel, all the friends that you have, or that you may have, and all the things around you, right, that you can utilize and use, even with that, there's just some things, or there's just something that, if You don't have this type of peace where good or bad, bad or good, whatever, that there is a space you can go to where you understand and you know that I will be okay. I will, you know, survive. I will continue to go on. I will continue to fight. I'm good. Everything's gonna be all right. To always, come back to that space, come back to zero, come back to that equal ground, that solid ground where it's like God got me. God got me covered. This type of peace I cannot find in money, any type of currency. I don't care if it's Bitcoin. I don't care what cryptocurrency. I don't care what NFT. I don't care what how many $100 bills, hundreds of thousands. I don't care what type of house. I don't care in what location. I don't care how much security you got, how much nice things you got material wise, how much Gucci, whatever, how much my fancy stuff you got. You know what I mean? How much name brand? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? How much stock you got in this? How much that? All of these things. There's people who have these things as we speak, or have had these things, and they're still troubled, or are or have taken their life because all of that. Even with all of that, even with people who love them, friends, family, there were things that over, overrided that peace that was not able to be found in everything that they attained or had, or whatever award. There was no peace there. It was not whatever temporary satisfaction or temporary comfort it served. It was temporary, and it was very much so. And peace is not is not temporary. It's not just for a fleeting moment. It's something that will always bring you back right there. Peace, it will bring you back right there. Like God got me every time. It's like, yo, I'm going through it. Like I feel like I'm at rock bottom, right? Like this is like I don't understand. Like I don't even know how I'm gonna, like, what's the next step. Like I know, God, you gave me this dream, you gave me this vision, or you given me all this success. You bless me with a beautiful girlfriend, a beautiful wife, and for the woman it's like you bless me with a beautiful boyfriend, a beautiful husband, and and for all of us, it's like I have good friends around me, or I have family around me, or I have or for some of us it maybe I have a good job, I have a good career, or for some of us I'm making great money, I'm making all this residual income, or for some of us it's like I have all of these things, and what's going on? It's like I have this vision, I have this dream, I have this, God, you've spoken to me about this. It's in my heart. But, it's like, what do I do next? I feel overwhelmed. I feel, off course. And it's like, all these things are happening. And it's like, man, if things like, what if I made a different decision? Like, what if I did this? What if I did that? And all these things that are troubling you. And, again, we all have our individual, circumstances. And it's like, what is that for you? Whatever it is, peace, having that peace is so important, right? Um, Having that peace is so important because you cannot have all of this and think you can control it or try to control it somehow. Something's gonna slip through the cracks, right? And at some point, because it's so much, and there's just things that we have to really humble ourselves and really have that humility to understand. There's things that we just cannot control, that we can just not gather and really understand the full capacity of it, and really understand it from there's just certain things that are beyond our understanding or our reach, and we have to give it to God. Like we have to lay at his feet, like, and let him take control, take full control. And where we do our part, we do our part. But that faith, that crazy faith, that what I mean, we need to have that. This is all a part of coming, this is all a part of having that peace that God got you, and he's got you in his hands, and your life is, with him. He's got it under control, and you do what you have to do. But at a certain point, these things that are troubling you and making you kind of feel some type of way, right? That are just nagging you, and it's like, it's kind of like a nagging injury. It just keeps, you could ignore it all you want. You could, you know what I mean? Like, for the athletes, like, you could ignore it all you want. You could neglect it all you want. You could try to, temporary aid it all you want. But if it's really a serious injury, and you just kind of ignore it, it doesn't go away. It's still there, right? It's still there. It doesn't matter if you get $1 billion, you win the lottery. It doesn't matter what you gain. It doesn't change the fact that that injury is there, and if you don't address it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's what peace is. Peace, it's you understanding that this issue that you're having, this problem that you can't seem to understand, you have to give it to God. And he'll give you peace knowing that you've given it to him, and it's no longer your problem. It's no longer your problem to handle. It's not that it's not there, but it's no longer your responsibility to handle once you've done your part. Once you've done what you had to do, once you understand that it's beyond your control, it's beyond your strength and your capacity. Like, there are places in time where it's just beyond us, where it's something that cannot be, man, like it's just every day. It's like there's things you think back, it's like, what could I have done differently if I was here at this moment, if I had done something, if someone was there, if someone was paying attention, if I did this differently, if I was just more attentive, if I didn't just mess up, if I didn't do this, you're going back in time trying to think of things that are out of your control. If I just didn't, and it's troubling you. I'm talking about things that you just cannot touch anymore. It's done. God is in control because he's seen it already. He's seen what was going to happen. He's not, you may not have seen it. And that's the difference. And that you just have to be at peace knowing that this is what it's come to, and now it's out of your hands, and it's and now that it's out of your hands, it's in God's hands now, as it's always been. And you have to realize it's always been. You have your space to do what you have, but God always has a bigger picture, always has a bigger plan that you can't see. And to have peace is to understand that that is truth, and to understand that you will be okay, because God has the whole scope, the whole thing put together. And and just because we don't understand does not mean we're at where we are doing, we're in trouble, or that that we can't move forward, that there's that because we can't do something about it, because it's already beyond our control, and now that we can't do something about it, that it's the end of the world. And that, unfortunately, be people think that's a reality, that because it feels like a situation that's out of their control, and because they can never grasp that control of whatever it is it may be, that's it. They don't think that there's anything beyond that, because they it's almost like they've let something slip away. And that what is essentially life, if you know it's like they've let something go, and now life has lost its meaning or has lost its, its purpose. That you lost your purpose in something that really was, you know, meant to be, meant to be a learning, something that we we that has happened, but we don't let it bring us down. And peace will not allow us to sink, but keep going, but swim, Um, so peace is not a light subject. It's not a light topic. It's not a light thing. It's necessary. It's real. It's important. It's needed. Um, peace. Peace. It's and I mean in everything. Relationships, business, school, career, job. I mean, in all our workings, like peace, it's needed because we all go through, and it's ups and downs, and peace. Again, back to the example in the beginning, it balances out. Bad or good, 100 pound weight, 50 pound weight, whatever. Add peace on both sides, level. Because we go through ups and downs. We can never get too high where we think we're on top of the world and nothing can bring us down. And we can't be too low where we think that we have no purpose. We have no reason for being here. And that our life isn't worth anything. We can never reach any of those two extremes. We should never do that. Peace brings it right down here. Right level, right level. Give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to God. Humble yourself. Have that humility and give it to God. And lift yourself up. And encourage yourself in the Lord. And understand that He's also God in control. So there's no reason for my soul to be downcast. That peace brings it right here. Levels it out. Levels it out. Peace. The peace of the Lord, man. I mean, God is good. I mean, peace is so necessary. So necessary. Um, allow it. Allow it. Peace. Peace. A heart at peace is priceless. Simply put, it's priceless. I mean, I could speak for myself. It is. Um, and 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 I go through, like everyone else. I've been through. I go through. I'm still going through. I'm still fighting. I'm still going through. I still, you know, not everything's perfect. Not everything's, going. Every not everything is as I wish it would be or as I wish I wanted to be at this very exact moment. No, and 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 even as things get better, there's things that I would that was still that are still that still get at me, that still pick at me, that still bother me, and still uh you know make me think and get me in a space that I have to pull myself out of. But I keep going on. Why? Peace. It's peace. I still have peace within that. Within that, I still have peace. Balances. It brings it right back here. Right back to zero. Right back equal. Right balanced out. I still have peace. Cause I know it's not in my control. It's not in my control. I'm not. There's no blame game. It's not. No one's at fault. It's not. I should have did this. That person should have did that. This, that, and the third. Or trying to go back in the past, knowing I can't, knowing it's not gonna happen, knowing it's out of my hands, and ultimately it was never in my hands, in the grand scheme of things. You know, it's that understanding, peace. It gives you peace because you know better. You know and you understand better that you are not in total control. And therefore, at a certain point, you have to let go. And letting go means giving up all those cares, those burdens, those troubles, those doubts, those fears, those worries, those anxieties, those that nervousness, everything, all that, everything that's kind of just weighing you down day by day, second by second, minute by minute, because you don't want to let go, because you think you can do something about it or you could have done something about it. Now, understanding that you can't, but it's okay because there's someone who knew and who understands better and more than we could ever. And he knew way beforehand, and he knows now, and he'll know forever, and he's got you covered, and it's been in his hands all along. But we cannot get to, we don't see all that because there's just a certain level of understanding and perspective that we will reach as far as why things happen, when things happen, and the whole message behind it. But we just know that we're on a journey and God's guiding us through it, and our trust is in Him. That is the peace that you get when you reach that level of understanding of just it's not in my control. I'm not in total control. I'm not in ultimate control. So knowing that, inevitably I have to let go. I have to let go and understand. And once I understand that and accept that, I inevitably have to let go and let God and and then I'll be at peace with that because I know that it was never it is not it's not something I was in control of, because otherwise I'd be in control of it. I would have There's something I would have, in hindsight, what do you say, hindsight is 2020. If I would have known, if I would have seen, if I would have hindsight is 2020 because you've seen it now. God already saw it, so he's in and he's in control. And there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for anything. There's an order for things, and we don't understand that we're not in that position of authority. We are not in total control, right? And you look at that from the perspective of hindsight being 2020. When we look back in things in our past, we are geniuses, right? We are gurus. We become so much wiser. We learn from our experiences. We learn from our missteps, our mistakes, and all of that. And at least we should, right? At least we should. And we learn from all those things, and we're like, man, if I had known that, it's like, man, I wouldn't even have done that. I wouldn't have went there. But I mean, at that point, we're just talking, we're just having conversation, we're just reflecting, we're just thinking about it, and we're just, but it already happened. You know what I mean? If we knew that, of course we would, the result, I mean, the actions and the choices we would make would be different. If we knew that, if we could have seen the full picture, if we could go back in time, of course we'd try it this way. If we got a second option, a second chance, but that's not how it works. And understanding that we don't understand the full picture at times, and at some and in some cases we never will until kingdom come, But understanding that puts it into perspective that where we can have peace knowing that, all right, this is not in my control. I cannot let this steer me off course and forget that I have a purpose. I have a journey, I have a life to live, and I have to keep going and living that life and be at peace at, that I'm not in control. I'm not in total control. God has it in control. He's been in control. I've done what in the capacity that I have to do what I have to do and to control what I can control. That's what I would do. But beyond that, I'm at peace because God is in ultimate control. He's seeing all of this. He's moving where in places that I don't understand or see or get. But that's not my place or my job to get that or understand that. If it is, it'll be revealed to me. But if not, that's it. And be at peace with that and understand that and be secure in that. Because once you get stuck there thinking it's like you could have done something or you should do something and it's something that's not in your control anymore, you begin to let that think you begin to come into this thinking that you're a failure or that you'll just never get out of that pit or that hole or that dark space, and you're just kind of doomed and you're just repeating the same nightmare, that same, you're just dragging your feet every day for nothing because you cannot seem to grab or attain or achieve or redeem yourself or fix what happened in the past, what's broken, whatever it is. You can't seem to wrap your head around it, or and fix what's troubling you because you feel like you're in a place of control and you can't, and because you can't grasp it, that you can't control it. You believe your life isn't worth anything because you feel like it's out of control. And if it's out of control, how in the world can you even do anything for anyone? You can't even do anything for yourself. And you do not want to get into that space. You got to be at peace knowing that God is in ultimate control. God is in true control. And there's a certain limit to what we can control. And once that's there, that's there. Once we get to that point, we get to that point. And God is in ultimate control. And we got to trust. We got to put our trust and know that He's got it more than we got it. He understands more than we understand. He knows more than we know. And He sees the full picture every single time. Whereas we only see things a little bit clearer at times. And sometimes not even fully, but a little bit clearer at times in hindsight. And that's only sometimes. I don't even know this, that's only sometimes. So, it's just, man, like peace is so important. It's so important. And you can only get that when you put your trust in God. When you understand God is in full control. When God sees way more than we see and He understands way more than we understand. But He also is there for us. He's also there for us in love and comfort in spirit. So He's there with us anywhere, anytime, everywhere. And that He's there and He's in full control and to give Him all that trust and all of that, and just to let go of it all and just let it go, and then we have the strength to keep on fighting because we're not holding on to all of that weight thinking that we have to do something. We have to just give it up, let go, and let God. And then that peace can be found, can be attained, can be received, freely, because it's there, but you have to receive it freely by trusting that God got you and He's in control. Yeah, that's a deep one, man. But yeah, whew, I mean, It's that's the truth of it, and I'm saying that from personal experience, and and knowing that it's just something that I will continue to go through, and understanding that I will always need God's peace, the peace of God in my heart to survive, to get through, because it's a lot, and it's just things that we cannot handle, and then we're not in control. But peace, we need it. So yeah, that's episode 29. Episode 29 for y'all. I love y'all, man. Appreciate again all the supporters of the Kwanza Global podcast, and everything Kwanza Global. Appreciate all the supporters, all the listeners, and just appreciate y'all, man, for sticking with us. All the day ones, all the newcomers. Appreciate y'all, Kwanza Global family. And yeah, that's episode 29 for today's episode on this beautiful Friday. And catch y'all again next week for episode 30. Episode 30, we moving on up week by week. Consistency is key. We trying our best. And yeah, we trying our best. And catch y'all again next week for episode 30, another banger, and can't wait for y'all. To just I hope y'all get something from this, and yeah, man, I can't wait for y'all to catch the next week's episode as well, episode 30. So tune in for that one as well. And yeah, Kwanza Global family, much love. Catch y'all again next week on episode 30. All right, Kwanza Global family, we out. Peace.